Doohickey, Ruth Pasch in St. John's. We at her space, and this is the interior setup for the 517 celebration television show. I can stay there. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is the St. John section of the Lansing Made 517 celebration, and we are in downtown St. John's with, I think, I've just met you, but you're a rock star. We're in your space. You have a wonderful space. It's Ruth Pasch. Do you have a title that you would call yourself? I know you're a CPA, but what's your title?
Mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. I take pride in that.
Fantastic. How many children did you have?
I just have two daughters.
Two daughters?
Mm-hmm.
And then how many grandchildren came from that?
6 grandchildren.
Fantastic.
And 5 great-grandchildren.
You're not that old.
I am. I am.
So Brent, I called him and I said, look, I want to be able to explore in-depth spaces around Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that one person that is the unofficial mayor? Who is the unofficial matriarch or patriarch? Who is that person that the quintessential, everybody adores, knows stuff, that person knows stuff, but doesn't gossip, just has the information and lets people know when they need to know it? And he immediately had the answer, and it was you. And then he started to explain your space, and I was like, I cannot wait to meet this person. And walking into the space, it's a wonderland. Tell us a little history about this building.
I'm the 4th business located within these walls. The building was built in 1906, and the first 2 owners were department stores. This 3rd owner was Army Surplus Goods Store, and now my CPA office. So.
And your CPA office has been here for how long?
I came here in 1986.
Wow, that is quite a legacy.
Yeah.
And have you had other people working with you or sole?
Yes, I started out with 8 employees, and as I've aged, I've downsized.
That sounds absolutely lovely. This space is a museum of sorts. Is this a collection of your life? Is this a collection of what you enjoy? How would you describe the lovely artifacts here?
Preservation is very important to me. I started out in high school. Our family always went to auction sales, and as I got a little bit older, I could see that things that were used in our country were being just abandoned, and it became important to me to preserve these because we wouldn't be where we are today without that history. It's a development over years, and so I preserved it because I thought, well, it's not going to be anymore. I started out with Clinton County items. I thought that was important. I kind of branched out some state items, a lot of St. John's items, and family. I have items that were in our family that are important.
So, respectfully, this could be a museum. We could call this a museum of sorts because of what you're doing for the preservation of the idea.
Some people do call it a museum. I don't call it a museum, but...
What do you call it?
Well, it's my home, it's my place of business, it's a gathering place.
Yeah.
I hope it's welcoming to people that come because that's important to me, that they feel like, oh, I remember, I see that, my grandmother had that, or a memory place. And it's interesting, Malik, because people that have maybe one item that was in their family and they don't know what to do with it, they bring it here and ask me to keep it for them because they They know it's important, but they don't know what to do with it.
Right, they might not have a person that is either at the avail of being able to take it or would respect it in the way that they would like for it to be. And that's wonderful that home can be found here. Now, we must say, it's a working space, right? The phones ring, and the things ding, and the clocks dong, and then the big clock at the courthouse or the city hall. You're 2 blocks away from that. But when I did enter the space, I felt warmth, I felt joy, and I did feel welcome. So from one person's perspective, I definitely believe that you have achieved your goal, almost in a distracting sense that I wanted to not work and just explore.
Well, and that's all right. People come in just to walk through, just to take a respite for a few minutes, and I welcome that. I truly do.
Fantastic. You spent your whole life in Michigan?
Yes, actually, St. John's vicinity, except for 2 years I did live. 1 year I lived in California, 1 year I lived in Mount Pleasant.
You have a wonderful, in the most positive sense, Southern hospitality of welcoming and making sure that people's wants and needs are met. It's heartwarming, the grandmotherly instinct that you have and that you offered. And I take a special notice of that. We look different, but yet it's a non-issue. You are people.
Yep,
and,
that's right.
And so thank you for that.
Oh.
What are some highlights? Well, you said most of your life spent in Michigan. You were married, had children. What are some highlights that you would like to like about your life? What is one of the most vivid memories you have?
My family, my parents and my grandparents. They were kind, loving, positive. Their faith was important to them, and that set a wonderful example. And I hope that I'm carrying on the same.
There's the clock that we spoke of. It's ringing on the hour.
Well, I'm sorry. We could have stopped it. We didn't have.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful sound. It reminds me of the grandfather clock that my parents had. That's one.
Oh.
That's 2. So if you're watching, at whatever time you're watching this, it was 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon that we were here in St. John's visiting with Ruth. It's not about me, but I think the clock survived. My father's house had a fire situation, and it was interesting to observe the things that weren't damaged. And I do believe that was one he bought the clock for my mother. You're going to get me to tear up. And then in my bedroom, there was a picture of an anchor that had hope on it with waves and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I looked at this and I'm like, how is that hanging on the wall and not marred in any way? So much so that I ended up getting a tattoo, but this isn't about me. So yeah, that's a wonderful sound.
It's interesting that you're talking about a fire, because the building next door in 2001 had a fire, and this building got the damage because it was a windy day and the fire department decided to keep the whole block from burning. They flooded this building.
Oh. And
all this stuff you see here, except things I've acquired since, were in this building, and we had 4 feet of standing water.
Oh my!
But the clock wasn't damaged. Isn't that a miracle?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So it's similar to your story.
Fantastic. You were speaking about faith and family. How did those experiences shape your life?
Well, they're everything. They're just everything. I couldn't think of anything different. Because my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, and my parents themselves, they set an example, but they never preached their example. They just lived it, and so that was the excuse me, that was the behavior that we children adopted. And so that's how I was shaped, really. Plus attending church, there was no question but what you went to church every Sunday.
Right. So it's the action speaks much louder than the words.
Absolutely.
What are some highlight events of can I you're never supposed to ask. What age range are you?
Well, I'm not as old as Methuselah. But I'm getting close.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of people ask me my age, and I'm kind of protective about that. And I'll tell you why. I guess it's pride in a way, but age to me is a number. What's important is what you do with your life. How, you know, if you can remain active, if you can remain involved, I don't care if you're 16 or if you're 96. So I'm not going to divulge that.
I respect that, and I'm not going to readdress, but I'm going to make the observational guess that the things that you've seen in your life have been grandiose and extremely varying.
No. Oh, for goodness sakes.
For us to sit here today and have this conversation without a care or bother in the world warms my heart. You're a historian, and I love when I find happy people like you and am able to have these exchanges, because just like some of these items, those memories need to be carried on.
They absolutely do. I hope that people don't take away from this encounter that I'm living in the past, because I don't think I am. I know that things develop and new technology comes out and you have to adapt. I thoroughly understand that. But we wouldn't get there if we didn't have the past. Things develop from something rudimentary back in the early 1900s or even earlier to where we are today.
Well, you're very functional, and let me just address this. You like most of us, had a computer, paper jam while you were working, and then I admitted that I made a recent purchase of a brand new printer that I've had for over a month that I can't figure out how to get it to work from my devices in my office, to the point where I'm like either gonna have to buy a 15-year-old a burger to figure it out, or pay some consultant significant amount of money to figure it out. But I've had it long enough where I'm like I gotta do something. Yeah. So yes, we have to recognize the past, be able to know where we came from, so we can move forward, and also to help correct any mistakes and make sure that they don't happen again. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I'm following. I'm only saying that to follow, to say that I'm following. What's your cat's name?
That's Big Boy. I have 3 cats that live with me, or they let me live with them.
Yes. Yeah. So I think maybe it was the clock. What is one of your happiest memories?
The birth of my 2 daughters.
Oh, fantastic! Was that here in St. John's? Is that St. John's Hospital?
The older daughter was born right here in our local hospital. My second daughter was born in Sparrow in Lansing.
Oh, okay.
So, not far.
Not far, see? And that's one of the things that we want to talk about. If somebody were to visit Lansing, somebody were to come from Lansing and visit St. John's, what would you say that are some of the must-dos? And I'm not going to put them in any type of order, but some of the must-dos as things that people might not know are here.
Well, I'm very, very happy that our town remains active. There's so many towns of this size and this era that you drive through in Michigan, and they're all closed up. We're very fortunate. We have new stores coming in, a new dress shop, a new gift shop, a new brewery, a Mexican place down the street, and yet we have, like Raymond's Men's Clothing. They've been here for almost 100 years, so it's a good mixture. So I would encourage, if people were curious and just said, well, let's just drive over to St. John's, I would encourage that they look at both settings, the old ones and the new ones, because I think that's the way it's going now. I think that's the way cities are.
That's wonderful. Are there any spaces that, like, I know there's the park
Yes.
to the north of us,
the
any
depot,
bits?
The depot.
Are there any other spaces that are in the area that people should know about?
Well, it's separate. It's in the same area, but you know the Veterans Memorial, which is on the street just a block away. To me, it's very sombering to sit there. There are benches. You can sit there and contemplate men and women from Clinton County that have given their lives or just served in the military. But it's an honor that we've given them, that we recognize they've given their time of their life, maybe.
Thank you for that. So there's plenty to do, there's plenty to explore, and I know from experience the people are friendly, they're quick to offer a hello, and they're also quick to offer help, and then they're also quick to offer suggestion. So the invitation is open here. And thank you for allowing us to come into your space. Now we're going to take a quick tour. Are there some highlights about any of the items that are here that we should know about?
Yes, there are. We're back to my collecting things of Clinton County that I feel are important. In the front office space there, that back bar was originally in the drugstore that was just a block south of here. And the pediment up on the top of that back bar comes from our courthouse before they knocked it down and built the new one. In the second office, the soda fountain machine, that's important because, again, talking about development and how things change, that was the second stage of development of a soda fountain. It was manufactured during the Civil War. And to get the carbonated drinks, the liquid was placed in a wooden barrel on a rocker, a wooden rocker, and so to get the bubbles, you'd have to rock the rocker, and it was dangerous. Sometimes it exploded and killed people.
Oh my.
So, but that was, the theory of that is how now we develop, you go to a pop machine and just press the lever, and so
right.
We're back to, without the history, we wouldn't be where we are today. The door, that's the table there in the second office too, that's also from the courthouse before they knocked it down. The store, the replica of the store there is from Waukusta. Now that's in Clinton County too. I don't know if you know about Waukusta.
Waukusta's in Clinton County? How does that work out? Isn't that east?
Well, maybe it is Eaton. No, it's Clinton.
It's
County.
Eaton. It's Clinton. I'm not. You're right. I'm gonna say you're right, but I thought that was east of us. Waukusta? Maybe I'm thinking of a different town. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Yes.
That was made by a woman who.
That's this grandiose thing here. With
Right.
Oh.
That's an exact replica
Wow.
of the Waukusta General Store, which was in existence during the Civil War.
Oh.
Well, the woman that I bought it from her estate, she had that made because her parents owned that store at one time, and they lived upstairs.
Ah.
And so she had that made for them as a remembrance. I don't know where you go from there. Well, I do know. In the very back, there's a tiny, tiny gas range that came from the flop house in Lansing. And so again, Lansing and St. John's aren't that far apart.
We're neighbors, we're cousins.
Yeah, yeah, at least. And I don't know if I should say this or not, but in the unisex bath, you must go in there. There is a bathtub from the 1800s, and it's different. It's copper with a wooden frame, with a wooden rim around it. It's something different.
Yeah.
So again, now we have walk-in stalls.
No steps, just walk right in. Things work magically. I don't understand the math because I'm like, doesn't water fall out? I don't know how this works.
I don't know either.
And our 16-year-old has managed to get half of a bathroom wet when he takes a shower, and I'm like, bro, like I just took a shower. It's a little steamy. You come out, I've got water. The toilet paper's all wet. The seat's wet. How does he do it? And he's like, I don't, 16-year-old. Oh no, and I'm like. And scene. Bless you, Ruth. Thank you very much for spending time and exploring St. John's and allowing us to take some of your space and take some of your time.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for calling me.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna call you again. You know that, right?
I hope you do because it's been so quick. We haven't really had time.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you again and just to say hi or let you know when I'm coming into town and see if you're here.
And I hope you hold yourself to that.
I will, because if I don't visit Brent's Oh My Organics every so often, the queen of the corner house gets upset. And so, happy wife, happy life, yes?
Oh, dear. Well, thank you for taking the time to come.
Thank you. Bless you. All right. That's a quick trip to St. John's. Thanks for watching the Lansing Made 517 Celebration Television Special. And with that, the chime.
Oh, now tell me when this is going to be broadcast.
We get ready to cut.
Yeah, everything can be cut.